Good morning. It's September 21st, 2018. Well, we have officially entered into the fall season. I felt the need to get out here earlier this morning. I haven't been out walking for a couple of days. And I don't know if you can see the morning mist. The evenings, oh, is that beautiful? The evenings are getting cooler now. Well, they have been for a while. Our weather is so screwed up this year. It's not even funny. And it's felt like fall for the past month as far as fall weather goes down here. Still very strange. You know, we're on the tail end of September, and you're going to bed with a cover over you. We're in troubled times right now. I love it out here. It's kind of like the balm on the wound. But yeah, we're in troubled times right now. Very troubled. I really don't know how to approach this, but it needs to be said. Sexual assault on a woman, on the female gender altogether, is a very common thing. I don't want to come across as a whiny crybaby liberal. I believe in taking responsibility for your actions. And yeah, we women, we put ourselves in positions that aren't the wisest situations, but that doesn't negate the responsibility of men. Now, as I've stated before, I grew up in the military, a lot of men around. And since the age of 6 years old, I have encountered sexual overtures. Really, yes. And I hate to say it, but you reach a point where you just poo-poo it away because this is the way it is. It's not right. But what are you going to do? You know? I can't tell you how many times I've been, guys made passes at me. Let's put it that way. Handled, fondled, propositioned. I've been date raped twice. At 13, I fought off an assault. So, well, when I speak like any other time through experience. Where to go from here? God. Like I said, I don't want to take this, well, guys will be guys. But they are. The difference being is that a lot of guys know when to stop. They know to take no for an answer. They may not like being shot down, but they recognize the line when it's drawn, and they don't cross it. There are, however, men who don't. And just like women who don't recognize or act accordingly when a line has been drawn, those are the people that create the problem. And those are the people that give the other people a bad name, because we're more inclined to lump everybody into one basket as opposed to sorting them out. It's like the biker world. You're on two wheels, you're a biker. Doesn't matter whether you ride a sporty, a traditional, whatever. You're a biker. The situation with the Kavanaugh confirmation. The committee on the GOP side, they don't give a flying fuck what comes up. They want this man in that chair, on that bench, because they have a far-reaching agenda. And to hell with whatever comes their way, and damn anybody who tries to stop them. This is wrong. And there are avenues to take in order to do the job right. Unfortunately, those who have the power choose to go one route only, and they don't care about anything or anybody. What happened to our country? When did special interests take precedence over the good of all? When did people start feeling that they had more right to something than other people? When did your religion become more right than somebody else's? As a pagan, I see things differently. As a heathen, I stand more independent. And as myself, I practice what's in my heart. A lot of, well, man, for all of his independent ways, is a social creature. He has to be with like kind at some point or another. Maybe not all the time, but you got to have some of that social interaction. That's all well and fine. And it's also natural to gather with those of like mind. So the situation that we find ourselves in is a natural progression. And while that's acceptable, what isn't acceptable is the manipulation and progressive whittling away of other people's place, their rights to think, feel, and gather differently. Now I know we can argue over history's, the battles fought, the countries conquered, the powers toppled. And you would be right. We have done all that. And out of the ashes, new has arisen. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. You know, I think I have laid down and bellied up because I am so fucking tired of fighting. And the worst part is that, yeah, I have the right to lay down my arms and enjoy what I have left of this life. The only problem is that there's nobody there to take up those arms and carry on. Yes, the world changes. Yes, society changes. Man changes. But it's not always for the better. You know? This can be, I need to move on. This is too morose and maudlin, and we need better news. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any, does there? By the time I get this uploaded, it's all going to be history anyway. Right now, Rob Rosenstein is being accused of suggesting how to topple Trump. Well, at that point in time, there was probably a little bit of flame to all that smoke. When you consider everything at that point. But we as a people, we need to raise our voices. We need to point out that regardless of what, this needs to happen. This exposure needs to be made. So having said that, I think I need to move on. What's happened since I walked this road last? Well, I went to the doctor for the first time in 5 months, and come to find out, I haven't gained a pound, although I feel like I'm toppling 180. But no, I'm still carrying the same same weight. My blood pressure, shit, my blood pressure is so good, all things considered. I was happy, the doctor was happy, and I'm feeling better for it. Good girl. Come on. So, yeah, I had to get a couple prescriptions refilled, and a temporary addition of some other prescriptions because I have developed a bronchial infection that could develop into COPD. Not because I smoke, although that would be a contributing factor, but because I had exposed myself to a really nasty environment without any respiratory protection. And there's a lot to be said about molds. Y'all need to become more aware of it. I am now. What else? Well, oh, I've accepted the fact that I'm not going to be getting my bike up anytime soon now because I have other things I have to do. That hurts. That hurts a lot. But what are you going to do? Well, I can't undo decades of responsibility on a whim just because, well, because I want something else. You know, if they built a time machine and I could go back 50 years, oh honey, I would do it in a heartbeat. Knowing what I know now, yeah. But hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? So let's pick another topic. I know I've made mention of having a roommate. He's like the kid brother I never had. He's 8 years younger than me, and for once, I can honestly say I have a real friend. Because, good or bad, angry or not, we take care of each other. We've got each other's back. And this is somebody who I've known, well, 20 years now. We met online through AOL message boards and the pagan chat boards, message boards in the chat rooms. And it was just another faceless voice with an odd name. But you know, if you've got your wits about you, you'll come to understand a lot of what's not being said. You understand how one person's comment isn't really the way it's taken. So it kind of draws you together or sends you apart. And he and I became friends. I should say friendly. And back when? I think he came down from up north to meet a sweetie that he had met online. He was hooking up. And, you know, I live in the next town over, so we got together. Sat and had a meal at the Waffle House. A lot to be said about Waffle House. So, yeah, we came away with a good feeling about each other, regardless of our personal trials and tribulations and idiosyncrasies. And we stayed friends. Then, oh geez, 6 years ago, I got a call from him, and he was going out to California to be with this woman. He said he was going to give it a try, and I wished him luck. And he said that he wanted to thank me for my friendship. I said, oh, okay, fine. You know, I didn't realize that he was cutting me out because I didn't hear from him for over 4 years. And it really hurt because I thought, as a friend, we had, you know, we had more than that, more than a passing association, more than an acquaintance. But nope. So I came to accept it. I wasn't happy with it. And I will admit, I was a little bit hurt by it. because it was always nice to get, excuse me, a guy's perspective. Then, a little over 2 years ago, I think it was by way of an email. I can't remember if it was an email or a text message. I guess it really doesn't matter. He reached out and essentially said if this address, phone number, whatever was still active, would I please contact him? I didn't hesitate. I picked up the phone and I called him. He was on the verge of tears when he heard my voice. Maybe someone's killing snakes. So he explained his situation to me. Very, very, he skimmed over it. Okay, fine. And I told him, I said, if you can get your ass here to Florida, you have a place to stay. Because he was homeless. Three and a half days later, he pulled up. And he was a wreck. I told him, I showed him the guest room. I said, go lay down, get some rest, we'll talk later. He was down for a day and a half. So, when he woke up, we started talking. Seems that this woman that he hooked up with, she used him, and when the money ran out and he had a mini stroke, she tossed his ass out. He tried making it on his own, and out in Los Angeles, it's next to impossible. I mean, I thought living out here was expensive, but out there it's outrageous. So anyway, I told him, I said, you're welcome to stay for as long as you want to or need to, whichever came first. And we just started coexisting. I don't ask anything of him other than maybe a small chore, or hey, if you're going out, would you pick this up for me type thing. And he doesn't ask anything of me other than a small chore or what. I don't go out because I don't have a car. Of course I will, because I'm in the process of buying one right now. Anyway, he's a good friend. If it weren't for him, I don't know where I would be or how I would be functioning now, because he's the one who identified my mini stroke. He had had 8 of them over the course of 6 weeks, I think it was, a couple of years ago. And he also identified a sudden skin condition that developed on me to be shingles. So we got me to the hospital both times, and we dealt with it. So I owe him that much. And well, it's just been a good relationship. Like I said, we're like brother and sister. And that's hard for me because I never had any siblings. So learning how to trust, how to relate, that was an experience for me. And I'm a better person for it. I have someone I can go to for a different perspective. He believes in certain things, and I believe differently. That's okay. In a lot of ways, we're on the same page. And in a lot of ways, we're in totally different books. It's all good. It's nice to have somebody have your back. Hang it right, Cleo. Because of Cleo's advancing age, Dobermans live, let's see, under the best of conditions, they'll live to be 14, or 13, I'm sorry. So, that being said, my roommate and I have been talking about getting a pup, another Doberman. Cleo, can you smile? Can you smile for the people? Can you smile? Oh, come on, let's go. No smiles right now. But, yeah, we're thinking about getting a male. We're talking about it. We've discussed it before. But this is not something you dive into You know, it's not an impulsive action that you take because one, if you buy a pup, it's invariably it's not going to be cheap. Because if you buy from a quality breeder, you're looking at a minimum of $1,200. They go higher, depending on the pedigree. If you're looking at someone of less scruples, you're looking at like $800. And there's no guarantee about the papers. Then you have this puppy. And Doberman puppies are just as bad as any other puppy. They need to be trained. Now, they may be quick, easy to learn. They don't have any issues. And then there's the vet. Now, here in the United States, we still have the legal option to dock and crop. Docking is usually done by the 3rd day of birth, after birth, because it's not just for aesthetic reasons. Dobermans they're born with a long tail, but it's a weak tail. And it's easy for them to break the bones. So usually they're docked. Then you have the crop, and that's the ears. First, you have to deal with the inner conflict. Should you or shouldn't you? I personally, I am very pro cropping. Not just for aesthetic reasons, but for behavioral reasons. You can read a dog a lot easier like that. And for health reasons. When long-eared dogs, their ears flop down, they're inclined to ear infections. So, yeah, to crop or not to crop. So if you decide to crop, then you have the chore of finding a vet who does a good job. A lot of people think, oh, well, you just do this and that, so on and so forth. There's different kinds of cropping. And you have to be good at it. And then you have to go through the healing process. I'm sure you've seen the pictures of the Dobermans with their ears bandaged up and these things sticking in their ears and them spaced exactly apart and everything. That's to get the ears to heal with the optimum benefits. You want the ears straight up. You don't want them pulling in together too much. Shit like that. And then there is the cost of getting the dog's ears cropped. My last Doberman cost me $400, and that was like 30 years ago. So I'm thinking anywhere from $800 to $1,000. So as much as you paid for the pup, it's what it's going to cost you to have the ears cropped. People say it's cruel. I don't know. How cruel is it to have your baby boy circumcised? Yeah. There's a